So hey guys, next up on my review is Green Lantern. In the last issue, of course, Hal Jordan went to the Sinestro Corps battery power, and of course goes in there and tries to use the failsafe, but the failsafe doesn't work and he's getting disintegrated. Now that's where the next issue picks up. We have Hal Jordan flashing back, having flashbacks about Carol. Guys all don't know who Carol is. Carol is Hal Jordan's love interest. Supposed to be Hal Jordan's wife, his girlfriend, and stuff like that. And basically, he's having flashbacks of her dumping him, her leaving him, and it happens 3 times in a row that she says, I'm leaving you, and now finally it's over. The 3rd time, she said finally it's over, and what happens is that later on, as he's being disintegrated, the failsafe doesn't work. It says it does not recognize him as Sinestro, and the dematerializing matter or like universe or something transferring him there does not work, and basically shoots Hal Jordan back out. So maybe this only works for Sinestro, and so shooting him out of there. Sinestro's still fighting the whole bunch of Sinestro Corps and all that stuff. And of course, the Sinestro Corps picks up Hal Jordan and takes him away. And of course, also the Sinestro Corps overpowers Sinestro and captures him also. So what they do with Hal Jordan is they throw him into, a prison. And Hal Jordan is just trying to break out. He's using his ring and using what's left of the power to break out. He tries to use a chainsaw, it doesn't work, a hammer, a fist, it still doesn't work, and he only has 0% battery left. So he realizes that he can't get out because, of course, the prison cell is actually reinforced with the same power that the Sinestro Corps ring is powered by. It's by fear. So basically, he can't break it. So what happens is, as he's not dying, but as the power ring is dying out, he has one thing left he can construct. Just one thing left. What can he use to break out? And he doesn't use that power to break out. He actually uses what's left of his power to actually make Carol appear. A construct of Carol for him to see one last time before he has to go. That's kind of a bit of a sad thing that, he flashed back to, Carol dumping him so many times and leaving him. And, the only thing he wants to see is, seeing Carol before he goes. That's a really sad thing for me to, see, because something like that happened to me, and all that stuff. And okay, back to reality. Not back to reality, but back to the comic. So what happens is that the whole Sinestro Corps, one of the doctors is trying to take off the ring. Now their efforts are useless because they can't take off the ring from Sinestro's hand, and so what happens is they also dump Sinestro into a prison. He doesn't dump him in a prison with Hal Jordan. He dumps him in a prison where where his home planet's how do you say the people are. He dumps him back in there, and everybody from his home planet, everybody there is upset and pissed off at him. They're upset that he was being a dictator for trying to control them and stuff like that, and they're all really pissed at him. They really want to do some like good by hurting him, but they can't, and they're really pissed off. And basically, they just go back and forth. Hal Sinestro saying that I was trying to protect you. My corpse did something. I told them not to. They would never done that if I was leader. And they're like, oh well, you being leader, look what happened to us. Look what you did to us for being the leader of the Sinestro Corps. Look what you did, and they're really pissed off. And Hal Jordan is in the next prison, the prison next to them, listening and overhearing what they're the arguments they're having. And so what he says is, don't lose hope. You guys actually can do something. Because, Sinestro can't try to break out either. If, Hal can't do it, then Sinestro can't. But of course Hal tells, Sinestro, I have a plan. What you can do for us is that, we have a whole bunch of people. We can overpower them. If you can make a ring for me, you can make bunches of rings for them, to power them up and become Green Lanterns for a while. And Sinestro says, we only have maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, of ring power. If I give them, rings, each one of them rings, I have to separate all my power to each and every one of them. And that power would only last for 5 to 10 minutes at most. And Hal says, we have a big group, you know, we can overpower them by then, right? So what Sinestro does is he uses the idea and he actually constructs bunches of rings, and they're all ready to go. And you know, the ring sends off and gives them to child, man, women, you know, everybody in the prison cell, and everybody becomes Green Lanterns. And what happens is, in the last bit of the issue, they actually point their rings and they want to get revenge on him, which is a kind of stupid idea. I mean, you have 5 to 10 minutes of ring power, and you want to use that power to beat up Sinestro. I don't know what's going to happen next. I hope Sinestro gets to them, or they will escape, but that's just a stupid idea, because in the ending it says Sinestro versus, I forgot what his home planet's name was, but versus his whole planet's civilization, and it's just like, really? You really want to waste all that energy just to beat up one person? I mean, I know Sinestro did some pretty bad stuff, you know, being a dictator and all, but in, like, if you leave and escape with your lives, you know, you don't have to have him there anymore, you know? But yeah, it's going great. I love Green Lantern, even though it's still a beginner's read for me. I still like it, even though it's still in continuity. It's still a great issue. I highly recommend you guys still pick up Green Lantern. It's a great comic right now. And yeah, I mean, I still feel bad for Hal Jordan, you know, seeing him having his last construct beat Carol. I felt really bad about that. And as much as, as much as Hal doesn't think, you know, he doesn't really think as a character. He just rushes into things. But, you know, it's just, you feel sympathy for him. Well, I feel sympathy for him. And having Sinestro, you know, have his home planet against him is just kind of like, okay, now we're all doomed. What's going on, you know? You want to see them get out, but right now it's they're in a bit of a pickle. But yeah, highly recommend you guys picking this up. My next review will be Batgirl.